We will be along with you live in just a moment, and I've been waiting for this since I set it in the calendar. The Nano stream right here on the Kev Baker Show YouTube channel today, live, unplugged, uncut, all the way from Silicon Valley. That's right. It's the First Lady of KBS is here. So we'll be along in just a moment. We'll let you chill out, relax. Remember, if you want to join the channel, you can do that, and that gets you access to all of our jamming emojis. I see a lot of our members in there already, and of course that gives you the blue chickens, gives you the gay frogs, Alex Jones, and also Smoking Elon, Yoda, Chewbacca, Sasquatch, and a whole lot more. But please, yeah, you can support the channel that way, or in the description, various other ways as well, but only if you can. And trust me, what show we've got lined up for you tonight, Nano is absolutely going to rock it. Some of the links I've got here, some of the images we're going to get into, I can only imagine how good this show is going to be. So chill out, relax, and we'll be right back. Okay then, folks. Okay then. And look, I remember to turn the music off this week as well. How you all doing out there? The live stream. Of course, this is the first of two live streams I'm going to be doing today. After this one with Nanogirl, I'll be joining forces with the guys, and we'll be breaking down even more of the madness in the world. But like I said in the intro there, I've been looking forward to this one because myself and Nano have done a couple of these live streams here on YouTube now. And I think we really both enjoy the way we can show the images along with what we're talking about. And it's great to be back tonight with Nanogirl. I'm hoping Nanogirl's still there. Sounds like her. No, you see, this is what happens. I'll try and reconnect with the Nanogirl in just a moment. See, the joys of technology. You bring on somebody from Silicon Valley, and this is what happens clean off the bat. So let me just try that again. I see Kristen in the chat room, Cindy. There she is. She's back. Nanogirl.
Hey.
There we go. I thought we'd lost you there. I was just about to say the irony, the fact that I call you the girl from Silicon Valley, and here we go, something wrong with the connection, but that's to be expected when we do our shows. How you doing, Nano?
I am doing great. I think need a second to I keep hearing. Okay. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear, yes.
Okay. All I needed to do was turn off one of these and then I can hear. Okay. I'm good. All right. Because otherwise I've got it all over the place. So, okay. We're all good. You can hear me and I can see you.
Yeah. And Kristen, somebody that we've both hung out with in the chat room, she's really having a bit of a laugh about my protest beard. You were admiring my beard before the show as well, Nanogirl. I
like it.
Yeah, I think it's looking rather cool. Makes me look rather old, though. And Nano, I'm just about to share screens with you so you can see what's going on again, okay?
No, I gotcha. I can see your screen.
You can see me?
I can see you. I'm good. Don't do anything else because I'll get lost again.
Excellent.
So whatever it is we've got going, we're good.
Excellent. And like I was saying to the audience, I'm really looking forward to this tonight because we don't get to hook up as often as we used to. And then just before we came on air, you were sending me some of the links, some of the topics we're going to be talking about. I'm looking forward to this, Nano, and I'll let you kind of steer the ship today. That's how I kind of put it when you come on the show, because you put in like so much research, and when I try to steer it, I miss so many topics out. So really, today it's the Nanogirl stream. It's not the Kev Baker show, anything like that. It is the Nanogirl stream. So where do you want to start today, Nano?
Okay, so where we're going to start today is we're going to talk about the week. And we were talking before the show that and I'm stealing some things from people that I love to listen to. Anyway, there's no words anymore for what's happening. I mean, we're headed in a new direction. The weirdness is ramped. Uh, we must be at a much higher level than we had been in the past for them to ramp this as high as that they have. Um, it feels like we're just being battered every single minute of every single day with some kind of craziness. But I thought that there were some watershed moments this week that I wanted to capture because normally when you and I do a show, I don't usually do more than 15 or 20 minutes of maybe 15. We don't go in depth very much on the news around the world, but it was so, again, not a very good line of phrase, off the charts, but it was really off the charts. So I guess today we're going to start with my very favorite person of all time, of course, the AOC. Everybody knows how much I just love this chick. And she's the young, what do they call it, freshman Democrat in Washington, D.C. And she's really had quite a very busy week. And I think more than anything, what came out from her this week is how she's positioning herself, how she's going to move forward, how she's going to sell the new Green Deal, and how she's going to continue to change what she feels is broken. And it's in her opinion and based on what her process that I saw this week, it isn't even going to matter so much what we're going to, where the rest of us may want to go. It's just going to be what she feels is the most important. So, and the other thing I wanted to do today was present this with a little bit of a sense of humor. So if we go back to the top, Kevin, we'll start with the fact that there you go, you had it. The first one where she's standing on the rock. They're actually going to put Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is going to be featured in an upcoming comic book as a hero. Woohoo! The comic promises to have the New York Congresswoman and the freshman force take on the establishment. One cover has Ocasio-Cortez standing over a hurt red elephant while a blue donkey nervously looks in the background. Whoa! There she is in all her magnificence, of course. And then if you can show the next picture, which is the one I really want to focus on, is the one where she talks about, she gave a couple of speeches this week, and one of them in which she said because she had the ideas and she'd created them, that she was the boss.
Yep, this is the one that's really triggering a lot of people. I've heard this one been thrown about quite a lot.
Yep, I'm the boss now.
Yeah. You know my feelings on young AOC, don't you? I'm a big fan of Miss Cortez. Big fan.
You are a big fan? Are you seriously a big fan?
Yeah.
I mean, okay, you are?
Maybe not so much of her politics, but yeah.
Oh, God. Every time you say that, it's like...
She's massa. You know how like Trump's MAGA? Well, yeah. Cortez or Cortez, she's massa. She's making America sexy again.
Oh my God. I have no words. Again, I passed out on the floor and I don't think I'm coming back.
No, she's like a controversial character, but all joking aside, right? She certainly seems like somebody that has been used as a tool, like a puppet. Yeah. And they've definitely got big plans for this girl. Love her or hate her. She's definitely one to watch.
She is. And we were talking before the show a little bit about, did we think that certain people operate at a frequency that actually just sort of irritates your body? I think we could certainly say that about Mrs. Clinton. We could certainly say that about Nancy Pelosi. We could certainly probably say it about a number of people and probably for some people, Donald Trump. I've actually had people I know and really respect tell me that Trump has dementia, that he's crazy, that he's insane, and they'll pull out speeches and things that he said and things that he's done that they're absolutely convinced that he is all those things. And I think that I don't know how this works or if it's the way they sell these characters in the press, that yes, they're weaponized, but my question to myself this week was why? Why does it feel like they're so weaponized? Is it actually based on frequency? Is it actually based? It's probably based on a lot of things. The words they do say, right? I mean, everybody used to say that about Obama, that he understood what words to say to get people to do what he wanted them to do. He was very good about understanding that whole thing. I think the thing about her is that I probably wouldn't be bashing her as hard as I do if I thought that she actually had anything good in store for us. And I personally don't think she does. And I think the thing that bothers me the most about her, if I stay sane while I talk about it, is the fact that she's very condescending. She's very divisive. It's her way or the highway. And she's really quite the narcissist. And the scary thing about narcissists is it seems like that's all we have in power, but they don't listen and they're not accountable. And she's in a position where, Kev, she was supposed to represent all of us, and definitely whether you're a Republican or a Democrat, when you get into Congress, you're supposed to be supporting the Constitution, the country, and the people that you represent. And the fact that she came after some of her more moderate Democrats and said, we're putting you on a list, we're putting you on notice, is all part of this shutting free speech down. And where the Democrats used to represent sanity and used to represent the people and used to represent freedoms and standing up, quote unquote, against the man. And I understand that all of this was created for a specific reason, to have us all hate each other in retrospect. But all of that's been hijacked and it's all gone now. So we're starting to see emerge then this sort of character of this person. And that's what disturbs me more than anything. And that's why I don't find her attractive, and I have no sense of humor about her, because like you said, they have big plans for her. And I agree with you on that. And I think she'll do quite a good job for them.
She certainly pushes that kind of globalist, again, green agenda, the globalist kind of thing that we hear about all the time. And she was even hinting the other day, kind of eugenics theme about whether we should be having children or not. And I get it's a decision that people should be making, the kind of world that we're living in today, but not the way that she's thinking about it, not the way she's talking about it. And that's quite a hot topic right now as well. You've got the kind of the abortion issue that we're not really here to talk about. It's not really connected, but it is really, because you see how they're pushing the boundaries on that as well, Nano. And if that's
that's actually on my list.
If that's a flavour of the world that we're moving into, if these cats get a hold of it, not good at all. No,
because I think like you're exactly right. They had that abortion law that they voted down, where they were going to care for the children that failed to protect the babies, right? And that was in the Senate. And it's very frightening. And other people have pointed out this week that, do you actually think that they care about you if they can't care about the most fragile of us, the new babies? No, absolutely not. And you're right. Again, I don't think it's everybody, but it certainly seems to be a fringe. The people that have their fingers on the political trigger, as it were, yes, this is where they're headed. And we all know that those are probably for body parts, which is even more heinous than anything. So I can't even go there very long, but it was certainly on my list because that happened this week too. So I'm going to end the AOC thing. I heard this from Jeff Rich today. So I'm going to credit Jeff with this, for bringing up this quote from Karl Marx. Everyone who knows anything of history also knows that great social revolutions are impossible without the feminine ferment Social progress may be measured precisely by the social position of the fair sex, plain ones included. And this is my last statement about the AOC. I think what a perfect replacement for Mrs. Clinton. She doesn't have the baggage of Brother Bill, the husband. She doesn't have a lot of the Hillary baggage. Like you pointed out, she's attractive. Unlike Mrs. Clinton, she's not. AOC is very young. She's hip. She can talk to people using media. She did the cooking show this week, which is another first. I've never seen anybody in Congress do that.
She's getting groomed, Nano. She's been groomed.
She's brilliant. She's using every single tool in all the right ways. And she's Mrs. Clinton's replacement. And she's got all of the Clinton baggage is gone and replaced with all the things that bothered everybody. So if you took a list of why everybody hated Hillary, this chick's got it all.
No, absolutely. And I'm just, interacting with the chat room over there, Nano Girl. We've got Joseph Bro in there, or Joseph Oro in there. And that's the guy who gave me this cool light that you see in the background here. It's all 3D printed.
Nice.
It changes color and things, Nano. It's you see it changing color?
I do. Good job, Joseph.
It's a listener that done that with 3D printers. So that is a pride and place every stream I do now. I like that.
I love it. Oh my God. This is from Free Palestine. RT is holding a raffle, top prize, a pair of soiled. Oh my God. Okay. That was funny. All right. Moving on.
and of course, as the show goes on, something myself and Nano both like taking time to do is going to the chat room. So we'll certainly take time out from time to time to get questions, and can be about what we're talking about. You can throw in other stuff as well. If we don't know, we won't be able to answer it, but you can certainly ask the question. So where now, Nano?
Okay, so now the next person on my hit list from this week is, of course, in the meantime this week. Still this week. These were major events all by themselves. Trump met with, had a second meeting with our buddy Kim Jong-un.
Yeah.
And it was still a historic summit. And do you have my little cartoon for that one?
Yeah, I'm just bringing it up right now. Yep. Here we go.
That was my favorite. Oh my God.
I like these little cartoons.
And you're going to be surprised in a way that I'm not taking sides on either one of these characters. I don't blame Kim Jong-un for not giving up his nukes. That hasn't always worked for everybody in the past. And I can't blame Trump for walking out after he didn't get the deal he looked for, because he looked better. He looked more powerful by walking out. So nobody won, but nobody lost. I think both people did the right thing. And I think that this picture says it all. While Trump is riddled in all this crappy scandal, which is also next on my list, Kim is also it would appear a brutal dictator. I still can't believe that we're having to deal with people like this in this time zone, and during our time at this point. It's like, shouldn't we be past this? It's so sad what's going on with his people. And if you could put up the next picture too, Kev, the one where we're interviewing Cohen, because while all of this negotiation was going on, hysteric negotiations, we had hysteria in Congress over interviewing Michael Cohen.
Yeah, talk to me about this, Nano, because I've heard everyone going on about it, but I've not really been keeping up with it. What's going on there?
Well, okay, so he had been hired by Trump a long time ago to help out with his investments for real estate. And he kind of got himself embroiled. His wife did too. They did some funny finance shenanigans, and that's where the bad guys got him from Congress. That's where Mueller got he threatened his wife for 30 years in jail because I think she inflated something for some loan or something. And then he just kept getting himself embroiled into more sort of questionable things, real estate wise. And then they nailed his ass. Now, the historical thing about this event, besides happening when your president's trying to denuclearize somebody, is that it sort of questions the legitimacy and the protection of attorney-client privilege. That's the thing that bothered me all week was, what about attorney-client privilege? How do you get a good defense if you don't have that? And this guy came and spilled the beans. He should never have been able to do that. And the second historical thing about this is, never before has a convicted liar, he's going to jail for 3 years, come back to Congress to be questioned some more. And several of the congressmen gave it to him and said, this is a travesty. Jim Jordan, he just let him have it, which was so impressive. And even Debbie Wasserman Schultz, who's another person I really can't tolerate very much, she even looked disgusted having to come and do her puppet performance of asking him questions. And so the whole point was, he was supposed to come and give more cannon fodder to the Congress to go after Trump, because they still want to try to impeach the guy or get him on something. But this guy has come out and said there is no Russian collusion. There's nothing. You guys have nothing.
What's happening with Roger Stone? What's the latest with him after his brush with the SWAT team out of Jack Bauer's 24?
To be honest with you, that wasn't on the schedule this week. We're just focusing on this week.
There's that much going on, Nanogirl. It's hard to keep up, isn't it?
I still have more on my list. Yeah, this is just the tip of the iceberg for today. And this was still this week. That's why I wanted to focus on this week, because I want people to realize, and I wanted myself to realize, no wonder I feel nuts. We've got stuff that might have happened in a month is happening in a week. Anyway, so I don't know about Roger Stone. I don't think it's been great. I think he's kind of in trouble. So I don't know. That's a very good question. Okay, next one on our hit parade, and another woman I just love. And I know these aren't flattering pictures, and so sorry, Kamala Harris. I chose her this week because her father kind of came after her when she made a comment in an interview. And somebody asked her if she smoked marijuana. And she said, well, yeah, I'm half Jamaican, of course. And her father came out and was pretty outraged. And her father is actually a professor at Stanford of economics. So, and I guess her grandmothers and her, her family don't do that. They come from Jamaica. Like her father's side is from Jamaica, and her mom is from India. And he just came out and said, my mother and grandmother would be rolling over in their graves if they heard their granddaughter talk like this. Now, they had gotten a divorce. Her parents had gotten a divorce. Kamala's parents had divorced when she was 8, and her mom raised her. So I don't think her and her dad are particularly close, evidently. But it was kind of funny. It's like, excuse me. Yeah. So that came out. And then, again, this is all about the identity politics stuff. And the reason I put in the second picture, she is out there selling free health care for everybody. People are like, well, how are you going to pay for it? And the thing about Kamala is that she has a very harsh, kind of Hillary-esque type personality.
That's never a good thing.
No.
No.
And that's why they're putting lipstick on a pig, as it were. I mean, the sense of they're trying to soften her up. So she's going on talk shows and telling jokes when she probably should just be a little bit more straight and not tell jokes, because she just has a very tierce personality.
Yeah, it's like, you've got to be able to tell and sell a joke. I love jokes. I love joking around. I love comedy, but I can't deliver a joke. No, some people can, some people can't, Nano. And she definitely on the side of can't.
I know. No, she can't. It doesn't, and it's because it's not her personality. I think, you know, if you have a Tierce personality and you're running for president, just be Tierce. Be your genuine self. Of course, these guys are all, well, I don't think they're capable of doing that. But, you know, at least if someone's going to do a makeover for you, be yourself. I mean, maybe that's what sold the Trumpster. He's just being him. You may not like him, and maybe that's the same thing with the AOC. Maybe the AOC is like that. Maybe, you know, it's all my way and the highway for her whole life. Who knows?
I do think that's her genuine character shining through, as well as the fact it suits the
Yeah.
role that they're probably trying to mold her into.
Well, yeah, all of the above.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I kind of like that. And I thought, wow, that was pretty interesting. I don't know if you heard this, but the Time's Up CEO, this is again this week, the Time's Up. So this is like the Me Too stuff. The CEO had to resign. Her name was Lisa Borders because there was a sexual misconduct allegations against her son.
Oh.
Yes, he's a massage therapist. And he did some nasty no-nos to one of the clients. I'm not going to get into it. And she had to resign. I guess she'd had the job, and I've seen different quotes, 4 months, 7 months. And I thought, things that make you go, okay. Then we have the Oscars, which I skipped because I just can't stand it anymore.
Good Lord. I thought I'd woken up in another dimension the other day. You know, I like to have a laugh and a joke about how, you know, I do feel there's an agenda to detesticle the male population out there. So I get up and it's the same over here. It's like Oscar mania in the build up to that. They've got days on the red carpet beforehand. Feels like the poor reporters live there. And then, you know, we all know the red carpet scenes. And along comes this dude in a gown, a tux gown. Nano, what's happening here? I'm going to bring it. Oh, it's beyond cringeworthy. What
it is beyond cringeworthy. He actually has a crinoline slip under that, peeps. Under that black velvet dress. I mean, if you put your hand over his face and you just look at the black skirt, that would have been kind of cool. I would have liked that. That's cute. But you got to show it. So my friend sent me this right before the Oscars, and I thought if I ever doubted that I was ever going to watch, which I had already decided I wasn't, that was like, okay, I'm done. And I went and watched Sci-Fi. It's like, no, I can't go there. I just can't go there. I can't even imagine this.
No, I talk about the inversion, upside down world, bizarro land. This is all part of it, you know. No good story starts with guys turning up at the Oscars wearing tux gowns.
I didn't get to see a pair of the shoes. I love shoes and purses. What shoes were worn under this? Were they
probably look like
shoes?
I reckon a high heeled hoof, something like that, maybe. You know.
I know.
This is just wrong.
In answer to Kristen, I don't know his name. I'm sorry. I forgot to write the name down. All I did was see the dress and
I'll get his name. There's there's only one man in the world that's famous for wearing a tux gown. His name is Billy Porter.
Thank you.
And if you don't like it, he says you don't have to look. You know, I agree with that. I do agree with that. Absolutely.
I do too.
Yeah. It's the same with the kind of whole freedom of speech thing. You know, there's a freedom of choice, you know. If something offends you, you don't have to look at it. You know, and of course it's never been so important over here right now. We've had David Icke banned from speaking in Australia. And Tommy Robinson, you know, love him or hate him, you know, he's now been kicked off, deplatformed as well for exposing the BBC. And I said back when Alex Jones got deplatformed from YouTube, I said, this is dangerous. And that was easy for me to say that because I'm an Alex Jones fan. I'm no fan of Tommy Robinson. However, that doesn't mean I want to see his ability to use YouTube, use other platforms to talk his talk. It's still just as important that he's got the ability to talk as anyone else. So dangerous times, Nanogirl.
Yes, I've enjoyed listening to David Icke's comments. He's the person who kind of got me back onto the frequency thinking. I really like that. He does a very good job of integrating politics and a little bit of spirituality and common sense. And he's really good at weaving it together and making a lot of sense of it. I watched his interview, cringeworthy interview, with people that went after him and telling him he was anti Jewish and didn't believe in the Holocaust. And it was like, that has nothing to do with what happened to him in Australia. And like he said, the fact that they're going to go after you before you even say anything, before you even get to give your speech, is what they'll do then is start to train your brain to not even think outside the box. It's very frightening.
I've been to that actual presentation that he was set to give, Nano. I went there, I think it was November, I want to say. It was a couple of months ago anyway. And there's nothing anti-Semitic in it at all. And of course they said it's because he speaks out against vaccinations as well. He speaks out against some climate change, that's another thing. It's a dangerous time when you're banning people just because of the ideas that they're giving to others out there. And I tell people, because there's still people laugh at Icke because of the reptilian stuff. Hardly any mention of reptilians in the 4 hours I watched him. And if he was just talking about reptilians and it was the stuff of silliness, why would they ban him? They wouldn't worry about David Icke and the message he's given to people. So, again, I hope the Streisand effect happens. Because they've banned him, more people go and have a look at what he's talking about.
I hope so. I hope so. I was actually shocked that Australia did that. I always thought that they were much more open-minded about things. But I think what this goes to show is the fact that they're whamming the entire planet. They're coming after all of us. And look what's going on in China, here in the U.S., Canada. Lots of stuff's going on in Canada right now. So yeah, it's pretty much worldwide. It may show up a little bit differently in each country, but it's happening. It's frustrating. But yeah.
Well, Lee in the chat room, Lee, and I'm going to speak to you at some point this weekend. Lee, I've had a hectic day today. I was pre-recording. Okay, I'm going to shamelessly name drop Nano. I was on with Ryan Gable and Clyde Lewis before this. I'm on with Nanogirl just now. Then I'm on with the guys after this, so I've had a full day today. But he says, and I like it, I echo it, Draco Reptilian Lives Matter. Couldn't agree more.
Amen.
Amen.
That's what I say.
We've got brilliant chat room though. Absolutely brilliant, yeah.
I love our chat room. So, and I just want to thank everybody for showing up today. It's a Saturday, and I'm sure you could be doing other really important, wonderful things. And thank you so much for joining us for the show today. It's awesome. I really appreciate it. Okay, so the next one on my list, again, we are still in this week.
It's been a busy week.
Yep. They're attacking everything. A judge has ruled, so this is under the heading of women drafted for war, ? A judge has ruled that that men only, let me redo that. Okay. A judge ruled that men being drafted for the military should be unconstitutional and is unconstitutional. What this ruling is now going to open the door for draft discussion and a possibility of drafting women. Now, opening it up for a draft discussion and just saying we don't want any more war and we don't want to draft anybody, I'd love to see that happen. But the fact that they may throw women into the mix always scares me. I don't want to see war. I don't want to see anybody drafted because I'm old enough to have been through the Vietnam War where that was a hideous nightmare. People in my age group the guys were drafted and they did not come back the same, and war is just such an evil thing. But anyway, I thought I'd throw that out there. I saw that fly by and I'm like, whoa. Okay. So another dart on the dartboard. France, I checked in today, 16th weekend for the yellow vest. And I heard that Macron raised the food prices last week 10%.
Yeah, that's not going away. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't seem to matter what Macron does.
Nope.
Those people are persistent, There's a lot going on in France that I don't think we get to hear about, obviously, because the media is so controlled. I remember speaking to Christopher Everard one time, and he lives over there. And I'd seen a documentary about how a lot of the rural areas, there's just nothing for people, Nano. It's absolutely horrendous. And, you know, when people have got nothing left to lose, as Gerald Celente says, people lose it. And that's where they're at.
And if ever there was let them eat cake, is the cynical action of raising food prices 10%. It goes beyond comprehension.
And you
except
got to remember,
we all know what they're trying to do.
That guy, Macron in there, I'd laugh and I joke about him being groomed for office.
Mm-hmm.
But he literally was. I mean, a school teacher at the age of 13 started going out with him, and that's who he's married to today. But when he came out after winning the election, and I think this is important, it really shows you who this character is. He didn't come out to the French national anthem like you would expect when you've just won that national election to become president. No, he came out to the music, because I don't call it an anthem, it's the music of the EU. So you can see exactly who he's in there to represent. And again, that's what the French are really fighting back against, Yep.
Nope, that's exactly correct. In fact, there's a lot of similarities between him and the AOC and Trudeau, from my perspective.
That Trudeau, he's a character.
Yeah.
He's somebody that I see coming up all the time, Nanogirl, but I can't say I've ever sat down and spent time researching him. Do you know much about him?
Trudeau?
Yeah.
No, I know that he really liked Obama. There are so many rumors. Lots of rumors. And I think his dad was also the Prime Minister of Canada, right? So he's kind of a second generation.
Groomed.
But and he's in some kind of scandal right now. And he may be in trouble, which I thought was interesting. And Macron's not doing great either. He's not in a scandal, but he's not doing great. The people are not happy, and people are not happy about Theresa May. So it's just more unrest, more upset. Speaking of Theresa May, and I found this little chart.
Let me just jump in, because we've got a super chat that's coming up here.
Oh yeah.
And this is from Gore Lich. Okay. Says most of the world leaders use their reptile brain mostly and are psychopaths with no empathy, pushing death and destruction. And I want to thank you for that, Lich. And I agree with that absolutely 110%. Nano, we've often said that these people at the very top, they're not like us. Very literally not like us. And they are. They have to be psychopaths.
And narcissists.
And
right?
more. Yeah.
Yeah, because how can you, I guess in my world, I just can't imagine. Well, let's just take the AOC for a second. I promise I wouldn't bring her up.
I love how you call her that, though. I love how you call her the AOC. I think that's brilliant.
The. Okay. And what's funny about it is because I practice doing a show when I walk. I'm like yesterday I was on my walk and I'm practicing. I know it sounds stupid, but I was practicing doing the show. And I was talking about the AOC in my head, because I always have to get, believe it or not, I have to get the anger out. This is actually calm, Nano, talking about the AOC. And can anybody here imagine threatening your coworkers, which is who those people were, that you're going to put them on a list if they don't vote the way you think they should? And you're 29 years old and you're a junior congressman, a freshman congressman, and you've been there 2 months, and they work just as hard as you did to get there. I mean, granted, we may not like what they do when they get there, but everybody worked to get there. And I was thinking, can you imagine that? I can't imagine that. I'm at work and I don't do something that some little twit decides I should and tells me and 40 other people on the team, you're out of here. I'll make sure you get fired. Do you know what I would do if I was on the part of the 42? I would organize those 42 so fast, and we would have a plan so quickly. It would make everyone's head spin. It's like, whoa. My guess is they're not going to take it standing or sitting down, the 42, or wherever she threatened. These guys aren't going to take her little threats. They'll go after her. So there probably will be more inner turmoil going on.
Lots more. And you know, right, here's something I'll throw at you. We'll take it a little bit metaphysical, a little bit woo, if you may, but this is what
Sure.
we were talking about with Clyde and Ryan before I came on with you. Do you find it interesting that if you look at AOC, as much as I find her highly attractive, but if you look at her from
Stop, can you not say that?
you see, this is why I say it. But if you look at her in a certain angle, I've got to really screw my face up to imagine this, but isn't there a similarity, a parallel to her and the Momo figure, that heinous face that's appearing in the media right now? You know, the wide mouth, the kind of pale complexion, the big eyes. It's quite weird how that's re-emerging at a time when this girl, this woman, is really taking the political stage and the internet as well by storm. Weird, Nano, eh?
Well, I have to say, and you brought this up last time that we talked about her on the show, which was about a month ago. I've gotten animated about a lot of people that we've talked about over the years, but I think she's probably one of the most.
I've never heard anyone get you in this mood. No, nobody has ever riled you up. I mean, I joke with you about Elon Musk and we take kind of opposite sides there, but nothing. I mean, I can physically kind of feel you change whenever I even joke about her.
It's scary. Yeah, I do. And that's why I was talking to you about frequencies. Is this a frequency thing? She attacks every like atom, neutron, electron in my body. I just go to the moon, and it's really frustrating because it's very hard to have any kind of rational conversation about this entity, and I'm beginning to call her an entity in my head.
I was just thinking that there. I've never heard of you referring to any fellow human being as an entity before.
As an entity.
Yeah.
Yep, that's where I'm at. Yeah. And I asked, and believe me, I'm taking full responsibility for this conversation and understanding what I'm saying, and horrified on one point and justified in the other. And I don't know if it's because she's taking something so precious to me, which is our freedom in our country, that I just love so much. I love America so much. I can't even begin to tell you. And to have a feeling that she's going to trample it in a couple of years, and yeah, she's been put there to do that, is horrifying. It's horrifying. And so I don't know. And then the package, like you said, there's a package. And the character to me is not, there are certain things she does. She's not 100% horrible. She does say some things that on some level make sense. But yeah, I don't know. But you're the one that brought up the Momo thing. I didn't even bring that up. I'm going to blame you for that one.
No, you think of it as well. How many times were we talking about that crazy asteroid called Oumuamua?
Yeah.
It's very similar to Momo as well. Weird.
I know. And
weird.
So
but a lot of the chat room, a lot of the chat room, they're agreeing with you about your take on AOC, just to back up what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm seeing people agree with me. Thank you. Thank you, chat room.
Yeah, that's reassuring. Yeah, definitely. I'm definitely in the minority. I'm definitely in the minority. And there was one time I was doing the stream with the guys last weekend, and Scott Lopez, he outed me because I screen share, as you know, and he noticed I had a picture of AOC up in the top left-hand corner of my desktop, and he outed me on air. Can you believe it?
I just can't believe you even think she's even anything. But thank you for saying she's the Momo. I like that.
Now you won't be able to unsee that. Every time you see her now, you're going to see Momo. And a lot of people in the chat room were saying, don't show that image. And no, I'm not going to show that image.
Yeah.
We really affected, people that I know the other night doing the show about Momo. And I was talking about that with Ryan and Clyde today. So no, definitely no more showing the image here with it doesn't matter what you make of it. Definitely seen enough of that hideous looking face. And I'm talking about Momo, not AOC, Nanogirl.
I know. Okay, so we're going to move off of her because I every time we talk about her, here's the other thing, guys. I have to watch my language.
You don't, though. You don't. It's
no,
okay.
I do. No. I am not.
Well, here's the
cannot
thing, right?
do that.
Here's the thing. I was watching
I can't do that. I
video
can't
the
go
other
there
day.
and be cussing.
YouTube came out, and this is from the YouTube creator team. And they were talking about cussing and language in videos. And for some reason, the first 30 seconds really sets the tone for the video. And I can't ever see me and you introducing our kind of shows that we put on with loads of cussing during the first 30 seconds. But that said, that means every kind of second and minute after that, we're living in a crazy world. And sometimes the only way to describe it is by using cuss words. So I know it's not something that's very befitting of Nanogirl, but if it ever does slip out from time to time, certainly this is the place to do it.
Okay. And I appreciate that, but yeah. Because I think we were talking, you guys, we were talking before the show that part of the reason I have cartoons, I also sometimes send cartoons to people that I send emails to. I am very intense. And it's easy to get all wrapped up in all this stuff, and you have to have a sense of humor about it. I do. And for some things it's really hard. So I like cartoons because it sort of lightens the mood, and then I don't go to the dark side and think about saying things I can't take back. And that's the thing. This stuff is going out there to the universe, and you don't know who's going to listen to it someday. Somebody recently said they listened to my YouTube from a long time ago. It's like, wow, so you don't know. You just don't know.
I'm guilty.
Okay, so
I'm
go
guilty.
ahead.
No, I'm guilty, but you don't know, Nano. Because, I mean, I use the two examples of Ben Goertzel, the guy behind the Singularity Net, or more famously, Sophia the Robot. He just randomly retweets a show that I done called Sophia and the Mark of the Beast. Now, probably in all likelihood, he didn't even listen to the show, but again, he came across that. And Geordie Rose, when he's talking about the Freaky Friday and all of our crazy conspiracy theories about demons coming through his machine. Well, it's only crazy because it's more like aliens than demons, according to Geordie. So you just don't know who's listening out there.
You don't. That's the thing. You don't. And which is kind of the magic about it,
Somebody's asking in the chat room if I'm shilling for the establishment. If I am, I really hope they get a hold of my PayPal or my my bank details, because I'm still waiting on the first check. George Soros, he's a bad payer. Yeah.
Oh my God. No, you guys, I've known Kev for a pretty long time. I'm pretty sure he's not. And most of this, and let's face it, I would say 99.9% of you being a positive on the AOC is to just watch me lose it, right?
See? This is why I explained this to you, wasn't it? It's like the main reason I have this kind of thing with AOC, aside from the fact I do find her physically attractive, it is.
Oh, please, you said that's like 5 times today. Okay, that's the last time. All right,
she
keep
is
going.
So divisive, it triggers people, and I think that is funny. I think if you're not triggering somebody, you're not making the most of being awake.
Yeah. And let's face it, if it isn't fun to tease someone who's not all fired up about something, but if they're fired up, it's like, well, let's throw this in there and see what they do.
Yeah, it's like throwing petrol onto the fire.
And in my case, I can't even speak.
Oh, big shout out to, we've got Nancy in the chat room as well. No notifications. You see, this is what pesky YouTube do. This is what happens, Nanogirl. I'm not going to go all conspiratorial or that, but it's good to know, Nancy. Thank you for letting me know that. I'm not too sure how I go about fixing that with YouTube, but they've been really nice to me these days, Nanogirl. So yeah, I'm not going to speak badly about them because the algorithm's always listening, right?
I know it is.
I hear digital people. See, Ryan Gable as well. Ryan Gable hasn't been paid by George Soros. I tell you, man, we need to take this cat to an employment tribunal or something.
I think we do.
Yep.
I think we do. Okay, so we're moving on. We're still in this week. Now we're on Brexit. And did you see? Can you put up my little? This is my little chart that I guess what's the next step for Brexit. This was really a good chart because I was listening to a live UK conversation by our team over there yesterday. And their concern is no matter what May does, she's really not going to detangle the UK from the EU.
Like, you see, this is why when people say, in the media, or you'll hear people saying, Theresa May's doing a terrible job. Yeah, from the people's point of view, but from her real boss's point of view.
She's right on. She's spot on. Kev.
Thank you, Nanogirl. Thank you. See, it's all a matter of perspective, you see. The people she represents, not so much, but the people she works for, i.e. in the EU, they're sitting rubbing their hands together.
They are happy campers. So this was a great chart for trying to figure out what in God's name was going on, because I heard they were going to maybe vote and put it off and blah, 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 blah. But it looks like if the deal's rejected, vote or no vote. But anyway, long story short, I don't think that the UK is going to get unentangled with the EU. It sounds like there's going to maybe be a deal with the military, using the EU military or something, because the UK isn't allowed to have their own military or something. Or not. I don't know.
It's embarrassing, Nano. As an ex-soldier, the levels, like our troop levels now. I mean, think of the fact we used to be the British Empire, ruled the seven seas, all that kind of malarkey. Now we've got like one naval vessel that protects all of our shoreline. And we're an island nation, or a set of island nations, sorry. And all by design as well. And a lot of talk over the years about a European army. And of course, that won't be to protect us from some outside boogeyman that we haven't heard of yet. That's more to keep the people in line and keep us part of this really kind of insane system that was, of course, the brainchild of Adolf Hitler, you know? The European Union. Yes, exactly. So that's continuing, and the deadline is coming up quickly. It's March 29th. And this is also this week, India and Pakistan. Yeah, that's dodgy. You don't always kind of appreciate just how close they are to war, like 24/7, Nano. Well, that was quite touch and go, right? Yeah, it was. Yes, I guess there was a terrorist attack and 40 Indian soldiers were killed. So then India got their jets and they did this jet thing, and then they captured one of the Indian pilots, and then I think they gave him back. But they haven't gotten in this kind of a skirmish since 1971. And by the way, can you do me a favor? Can you please show the folks in the chat, The Economist cover that I sent to you? Yeah. Okay, I saw this today. And so, you guys, this is what I was thinking about when it came to India, because if you remember in January, we went over The Economist, and one of the big things, their big thing was democracy, voting, freedom, and that there's a big election in India that's happening in a couple weeks, I think, or was it April? India. They're having anyway, and it's Modi is running for election. And don't you find the timing of this kind of interesting? That this was a big deal in The Economist, that this sort of incident happened, which could spark huge tensions like this with these two countries right around election time. If we didn't know what we knew, Nanogirl, we would say, oh, well, just a kind of interest. Yeah, just a coincidence. That's quite convenient. They were getting together anyway. But no, everything for a reason. But I like this this new word in front of me here.
Globalization.
Globalization, and that's what's been happening, right? Whether you
Yep.
love or hate Trump, you know, the kind of flavor he's brought with him, certainly been a spanner in the works towards this kind of global governance. And of course, in Europe as well, the rise of kind of more right-leaning governments because of the craziness of globalization. So I'm glad it's kind of morphing now into slowbalization. I like that.
And this is their cover from last month.
And of course, The Economist, that's coming from the publishing house. I think 50% of it owned by the Rothschild family. And that's why,
Correct.
yeah, that's why it's so important, I think, and Nanogirl thinks, to keep an eye on what they're saying, what they're pushing. Even if it's fake news, in your opinion, they always push you something for a reason.
Well, the reason that I first of all, I've been thinking about this in the back of my head is again, I'm going to use the word cynical. Their cynical support of democracy and voting when they're doing everything they can to globalize the world. They could care less about all that. And, it was like, oh, yeah, this is just our big thing for the 2019. Yeah, big thing for you to undermine. So I just thought the timing of this was really interesting. And it could be that Modi is not on their favorite list. I don't know. I don't know that for a fact. But I thought the timing was sort of interesting. And I saw a 3-minute YouTube from one of the economist guys. And he brought this up and he was all talking all calmly and, well, we're very concerned. And I'm thinking, oh, my God, bing, 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 bing. Red lights are flashing. Okay.
Yeah, this is what
I'm sorry.
Your red lights are when I say my spidey senses are going off, Nanogirl.
Yes, my spidey senses.
Must always listen to the spidey senses.
Sorry.
No, must always listen to the spidey senses.
We have to. All right, ready? Drum roll. And last but not least, Joe Rogan and Alex Jones.
Oh, now, what's going on here? Come on. You know what? We've had the big kind of WWE fight going on. We had Alex Jones saying God and Jesus had told him to go after Joe Rogan. And then the next thing I know, I load up my YouTube after a show one night, and Joe Rogan's Clips channel is full of clips of him and Alex Jones. And it's like some kind of loving. What's going on, Nanogirl?
Oh, my God. Well, guys, I'm going to be honest with you. I made it through 2 hours and 30 minutes. I caught it live, 30 minutes live, and I could not believe what I was hearing. And of course, God knows, God, love him or hate him. And I think Alex, personally, I think he's done a great job. He got me in the tent for another level of wake up, and then I escaped. But it was interesting. And Rogan, he's did a very good job of the interview. I thought he did. He kept his feet on the ground. He's like, okay, Alex, calm down. Okay, Alex, I believe you. Okay, Alex, if he had gotten $1 for every time, even in the 2.5 hours I listened, I believe you, Alex, I believe you. If he had gotten $1 for every time, he could have taken Alex out to dinner because he had to say it 1,000 times. But did you feel that this was a turning point of some sort? I did. I felt like this was a turning point, like that maybe the next wave is going to be the Joe Rogans, that Alex isn't going to get to be where he was, that his type of, let me step back for a second. Part of this week for me has been rethinking alternative and rethinking where we're going and rethinking how we're going to get there, because YouTube has turned the spigot off. How we were doing our thing up for the last 3 or 4 years, 5 years, whatever, is probably going to be gone. And we're going to all have to do it different. And that's going to require us to think differently, act differently, and start to unite together differently. I think today what we're doing live is helping. I think this is the new way. Whatever platform you end up using, if you continue on this or you do continue doing something else, it's going to change. It's going to have to be how we get together. Um, and then I was telling you about a YouTube I found where the guy is into metaphysics and into quantum. And so he asked the question, are the alternative team creating the reality that the AI wants? Because to me, this is certainly seems based on AI. Are we helping to create that which the quote unquote the AOCs or the people like her or the Rothschilds or whatever you want to call them? Is our participation at the level that we're participating helping to create what they want to create by creating the yin and the yang of it, by us showing up, giving energy, talking about it, and fighting them? Are we reinforcing that energy into the matrix, and that we're all engaged in this from one side to the other, just like the political stuff?
Well, if I talk about us giving energy via attention to things like the Slender Man and Momo, then I have to be open to the fact that we can also then somehow influence reality, people around us, to almost be similar to what we're talking about there, where that idea, that thought form, it takes a manifestation. And you can see how somebody like AOC, she's a product of the Bernie school of thought, right? Everything that went on there, I think we might agree. So she really is kind of a manifestation of the kind of climate that's going on right now, the one they've been pushing, right?
Yes, she's the next level. She's the next iteration. She's the perfect, like I said, she has replaced Mrs. Clinton. She doesn't have Bill Clinton baggage. She doesn't have Bill Clinton. She's beautiful. And in all fairness, again, she's beautiful. She's not articulate like Mrs. Clinton, but she doesn't need to be. She needs to communicate to the millennials. She needs to communicate to the people that she's speaking to. And Mrs. Clinton her time is gone for her communication style. So the communication style that the AOC has is absolutely perfect. We did cooking with her this week, right? We were in her kitchen cooking with her and listening to her tell us about, should we have children? While she's cutting up pumpkins or something, whatever she was cutting up in her kitchen. You know what I mean?
But
it's kind of a nice casual conversation.
Yeah, that was a bit disturbing. I agree with you there, Nano. That was a bit kind of creepy.
But she's perfect. She's the perfect replacement. And so I guess I go back to my question, and I'm going to be thinking about this for a while, is the next level of what Alex was, is that Joe Rogan. Only Joe Rogan doesn't really saturate himself in this stuff. He's more reasonable. Did you catch how many times Joe Rogan said, I didn't know about that? I didn't know about that?
Yeah, I did. And, I hope it does lead Joe to look at some of the topics Alex was bringing up. But I think, when you look at Joe Rogan, he's the kind of polished YouTube article. That's what YouTube want. You can really just go so far, push the boundaries a little bit, but there's things they just don't want you talking about. And again, that's just the times we live in. And it's a censorship issue. Absolutely. It takes us back to that freedom of choice. If you don't like what somebody's saying, you don't have to listen to it. But, yeah, I do. I like both of them. And you know what I take at the end of the day? I'm just glad that the whole, even if it was all a charade, I'm just glad they're friends again,
I thought so too. I thought it was nice that we could just put an end to that whole thing and move on. I agreed.
Because a lot of relationships that we form through coming across this information, Nano, some of the best relationships we make. And yet it can take just one topic, something really divisive, and boom, all that friendship, all the time you spent messaging and building up that kind of friendship, albeit digital, it's so easy just to react because a lot of the stories are so emotionally charged these days that, we can ruin relationships over just a stupid disagreement, when in the end of the day, there's bigger things going on than falling out over one little thing.
Well, you can do that with your family and friends.
Exactly. That's what they're for, right?
And to me, that's the most frustrating part of where we all are, is there doesn't appear to be a bridge. And bridge is, I don't know if you guys have noticed that, but that's a great big giant popular word in advertising these days. A bridge. We're building bridges.
And
And I'm
somebody in the
thinking,
yeah,
where?
somebody in the chat room says Alex says Joe Rogan knows about all this stuff, Nano. I think he does.
Yeah.
I think he does know all about this stuff, but he knows how to play the game. And he comes from that mainstream world, he'd done the Fear Factor, so he's got the Hollywood in him, he's got the UFC stuff. He knows he has to walk a tightrope.
Oh my God. I listened. He told Rogan that a number of times in the interview.
Yep.
He goes, you know this. You already know all this. He goes, you act like you don't, and then I bring it up and you know. I have friends like that. They don't want to talk about it. They act like they don't know and they don't care, but then you bring it up and they know exactly what you're saying, but they don't want to go down that road. And that was another part of the YouTube from the guy who was into the metaphysics stuff saying, are we trying to wake up people or drag people into our reality? And I'm going to get rid of that ruin thing. Are we trying to drag other people into our reality so that we feel like we've got some kind of connection thing or whatever, when their reality is perfectly happy where they are? They don't want to go this far down the rabbit hole. It's just not their thing.
Sometimes I think about that, exposing people to this information.
Yeah.
Like you say, maybe they're quite happy, quite content. Perfect. Everything's great in the world as they see it. And who are you sometimes to come along and maybe shift that entire worldview? Albeit just a couple of degrees where everything you thought, though, you really have to reconsider.
And I don't think it's up to us to do that, which is why I don't wake anybody, quote unquote, wake up anybody.
That's why I used to bombard. Yeah, I used to bombard social media like Facebook.
Yeah.
I used to tag so many people in anything I was posting. But now I just post things, and if people want to look at it, they can. And if they don't, they can move along. And yeah, you can't force people to this kind of stuff. It just doesn't work that way.
No, and I don't think it's very fair. And I don't think it's comfortable for everybody. And I think that for whatever reason, this is my thing. And waking up, I think the bottom line is waking up has been my thing. Whatever that was, whatever that is, going as far into learning about myself and everything about the world that I possibly could, and about spiritual growth and being more than I could possibly think about being, and then expanding that. That has always been my goal.
And somebody in the chat room says it's Astro, says Astro Zombie. What use is Rogan if he is going to play it safe? And I get where you're coming from there. But again, we shouldn't be looking for one character or any number of characters to do the work for us. And I find if Joe keeps on bringing the scientists he brings on, the kind of alternative thinkers, stuff like that, some of the controversial characters, that might be enough to lead people to the recommended section down the side of that video. And from there, they can start their own journey down the rabbit hole. But no, I totally get it. To a certain extent, I have to self-censor on here as well. There's certain topics I know I can't even mention the name of because YouTube, they just don't want you talking about it. So that, in a way, you have to play by the rules of the game sometimes, even if the game and the system's a little bit rigged.
Well, and that's why you don't want to see people like Alex or other people get censored, because there are people who love Alex. He has to me, he should have just as much access and right to YouTube as Joe Rogan. The people that want to listen to Joe and don't want to go down the crazy hole, the crazy rabbit hole, they don't have to. It probably irritates them. I know some people that just irritates them. They don't want to do it. They know it exists. They're fine. But the people that love Alex, that want to hear more, that should be accessible to us. And like David Icke said, they're going to censor out Icke and people like him and Alex before they even get a chance to speak. Why? I mean, so are they saying, and I think that's what spurs us on, those people in the alternatives. It's like, well, if you're not going to, you're not going to shut down Rogan, but you're going to shut down Alex. Why? Or you're going to shut down David Icke. Why? what is it he's gonna say, even though Rogan may know about it? Do you know what I mean? Or like you're saying, Rogan won't talk about it. It's crazy making. It's crazy making.
Well,
It's hard to
I
figure
mean,
out.
his latest talk that I've been to, the most dangerous thing I think he gets into is the fact that he points out the ridiculousness of the crazy world that we're living in. You know, from political correctness to the extreme of this trans agenda you see being pushed in the media. And I'm not having a
Right.
go at anyone that's chosen to be trans, not at all. But the ridiculous part of it, where you see the kind of really outrageous stories and usually aimed at children. And of course, when he's giving people stuff like that to think about, and he's got such a brilliant way of breaking it down and why they're doing it, who's doing it, that's enough to wake people up. And that's why governments really fear him. You know, ideas more powerful than bullets and bombs, obviously, Nanogirl.
Well, and I think the other part of this, and you guys talked about it on your show not last week, but the week before, when you were reading about how our subconscious and our conscious works. And that wasn't it something about the subconscious creates the reality through the mind? It's not the mind through the subconscious.
Yeah.
Didn't it end up being like that?
Yeah, absolutely. It's almost like the consciousness creates the hologram that is the brain.
Exactly. Exactly.
I like that.
I like that too. And when you think about any of the stupid self-help books, which I own all of them at least, they talked about that a lot. They used different words about it, but in order to change a lot of your habits, you also have to get to reach your subconscious. You have to get to that level because that will sabotage you. That you can't ignore that piece of yourself. I actually tried to do subliminal tapes one time. This was funny. And it was to break a habit, and I can't remember which one, God knows. But anyway, so I put the tape on, and what you consciously hear is the music, but underneath are these people speaking to you to break your, and it's to talk to the subconscious. The third time I put the tape on, my subconscious mind had a hissy fit and made me turn it off. And it did. And the thing that was really interesting about the communication between my brain and my subconscious is it wasn't words, but it was clear. It was so trippy. It was almost like this muscle reaction of turn that off without words. So I turned it off.
Wow.
Yes. And what I realized after that is how powerful that piece of your brain is, because it doesn't communicate in words. There's no words, but it's communicating. And I think it probably does communicate in graphics or pictures or feelings, but there's not words because it didn't say, hey, you up top, brain girl, turn that off. But it was clear, and I didn't put it back on again.
No wonder, but no, I'm looking at the chat room, Nanogirl, and
Yeah.
somebody here is asking, where is Trump on this freedom of speech? And you see, this is the thing, right?
Yeah.
Here's this guy comes riding in, tells us all the things he's wanting to hear, but when it comes to some issues, and I'm not saying he's a bad guy, for anyone who might not know, I hate all of them. I don't trust any of them. None of them work for us, okay? So I don't have any dog in the fight. And I'm critical of any of them that come along, but I credit where it's due. He's done some good stuff, right? Job front, industry, things like that. Then the other day, he comes out, lording about 5G, 6G, all the way up to 10G. And then he doesn't say very much when, this is a freedom of speech issue. And I get that it's, coming from his side, the Republicans that seem to be kind of de-boosted. That's the kind of buzz term right now. Kind of be occulted from people's social media feeds. But it shouldn't matter what side are being drowned out. What side are being kind of censored? Because everyone's voice should be equal. Doesn't matter what your political leaning is. And this is an issue that everyone should be really, really vocal about. Because if we're not vocal now, then there comes a point where there's no time left to be vocal because we've no freedom of speech left.
I couldn't agree with you more. I'm just watching. I still would rather have him than Mrs. Clinton.
Yeah, I often joke that I think if you'd ran the Baphomet against Hillary Clinton, the Baphomet would have won. It would have clippity-clopped all the way into the Oval Office. We would have had, like, Medusa as the first kind of mythological first lady.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we would have.
Probably.
No, I think Baphomet would have won. Yeah, I'm afraid so. Yeah, all the above. There's not a lot of things he's not doing I wish he was doing. I really do. I'm so sick of the Congress going after him too, and it's all of it's just this horrible nightmare every day. They just won't stop. They won't stop, and they're not. To me, it's just ripping us apart every day. You can't keep fighting like this for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. And the people they have running, I'm not interested in any of them. It seems like thousands, right? It's a list of thousands.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I'm just looking at the chat room again here, Nano.
Yeah.
Before I unleash you again, this is a really kind of clever comment. I like this. Comes from Thomas Schroeder. But that sounds like the name of some famous physicist or something. But Thomas Schroeder says, the brain is not the mind. The psi mind, maybe, is not located in the brain. And that's really what we were saying a moment ago, isn't it? Because it's really if the consciousness creates that illusion of the brain or the hologram, and we're all coming from that same source, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. And I think I look at it like I would look at a computer, right? Just the different layers. And but I can only share with you what my physical experience was. And it was a physical experience of turn it off and no words. That's what was so trippy. It was like, and I did it a couple times. I'm like, wow, did I really just experience that? And then it's like, I turned it on and it's like, yeah, I did.
I wonder if, in a way at this time, sounds new agey. Nano will back me up. I'm not new agey, but it's a language that from New Age I'm going to have to steal, but almost like something's activating, like psi powers.
Oh, you mean when it said turn it off?
Yeah, it's almost like there's something weird going on. There's something kind of weird going on, Nano.
You mean right now in life?
Yeah, well, with people as well. Like that story there you've got about your little incident, and other stories that people are coming out with where there's kind of weirdness going on. They're thinking things or they're hearing things. And I don't know, it's just part of this out of whack, the weirdness that I keep talking about on the show.
Yes.
I know that isn't a very good way of explaining it. And that in itself it's hard to explain.
We don't have the language to explain it, right? I don't think we have the words. And, well, I'll go back to this week. It was very difficult to get myself to focus, to try to think, to try to put some semblance of order into what I was going to try to present today. And literally on Tuesday night, I was writing and I just let myself write words like crazy, mad, angry, happy, sad, insane, in any word that came to me. And I just did it for about 10 minutes. And I thought, no wonder I feel everything is jumbled in my head. And I think part of it is everything is happening. It seems like everything is happening at once and we have a pylon. So if you're on a football field, we're getting hit from the front, the side, and the back, all at the same time. That's how I feel. Does that make sense, Kev?
No, it does. I'm just sitting here listening to you. It absolutely does, Nanogirl. And it's like what they call it when the immune system, a cytokine storm, where it's just everything's kind of overwhelming you. And a big shout out to Nana, the latest member of the YouTube channel here. Yes, we've got memberships now on the channel. Loving it. That opens up a whole kind of a whole can of whoop-ass emojis that you can use in the chat room. And of course, we're trying to get to 100,000 subscribers this year. So please tell everyone about the channel. But there's various ways to support the channel if you can, only if you can and only if you want to. I'm going to be back after this show tonight as well. I'm not finished with Nanogirl, but I'm going to be back later on and also be back tomorrow. So we're getting regular weekend streams now, and we're going to try and maybe figure out something during the day, during the week as well. Because I can't be clashing with my brother Unirock. That I can't be doing. I need my fix of Unirock when he's streaming every day. Big shout out to him. If you haven't checked him out, go over to Unirock or Unirock 2. Sub to that channel. A lot of the moderators that I've got in the chat room, Nanogirl, the Kristens and the Nanas and Dodger and War and all the rest of them, found them hanging out with Unirock, and I know that you've come to know a lot of them as well. So it's all happening here, and I'm liking the vibe in the chat room. Doesn't seem to be I hate to say this because it's probably tempting fate. I'll touch wood. No trolls yet, Nanogirl.
I know. We have the best people in the chat room and so supportive, and they look like they're just having a really good, nice time on a Saturday, just kind of chilling out a little bit, listening to some crazy talk by the Nanogirl and the Kev.
Crazy talk in a crazy world, Nanogirl.
I know.
So
I'm trying to make sense of the insanity.
We're staying ahead of the curve on the insanity.
Hope so.
Where are we going next?
Well, everyone knows how much I love the Pepper.
Oh, yeah, you gave me an image of Pepper, my favorite
I did.
robot. Yes.
It's actually one I took. The Pepper has a new job at the mall. And the Pepper, who is actually gender neutral, by the way.
Oh, may I guess?
I know. I think I can say that, right? Oh, yeah. Gender fluid. Oh, did you get someone you have to read?
No,
Welcome,
no.
Claire Bear. Hey, new member.
Oh, new member. Absolutely fantastic. Claire Bear, yes. Yeah, I've got an image up of our favorite little robot.
Okay, so I was shopping a couple weeks ago, and I never go into the Microsoft store, guys, ever. I don't go in an iPhone store either, but I'm like, oh my God, it's Pepper. And as you guys know, if you listen to me, that Pepper is my total favorite robot ever. And I just love Pepper.
Me and Pepper are going to have a problem if I go into a shop. When I go into a shop and I see that and it comes to talk to me, that's going to be an awkward moment. That might be one for YouTube.
Well, the thing about that I love about Pepper is, so I go in the store and I start talking to the Pepper, right? Hi, Pepper. So and the Pepper's like, do not ask me. She goes, all right, Pepper's actually a he, but I always refer to Pepper as a she. So Pepper says, remember, you cannot ask me questions unless my eyes turn blue. So if you look closely, see the color around the eyes? It never did turn blue. So, but the screen, you just push the screen and then it'll answer questions. So, yeah. So I stood there for a minute talking to the Pepper. Hi, Pepper. How are you? And I'm filming and taking pictures.
But we laugh and we joke, but you were the first person to introduce me. Listen to me, introduce me to Pepper. It's a machine, Kev. Remember, it's a machine. It's an it, not a he or a she. It's a they be. No, but, this is an example of, again, ahead of the curve because...
Yeah.
It was subsequent to that most TV shows, if you've seen a robot in it or documentaries, this is what they were going for. And it's something you had showed me first. And it was the Internet of Things, something I heard from you first as well.
Right.
And a big shout out to Just a Guy, became a member as well. That means we might getting close to opening up a new kind of crazy emoji for the members out there. I'll be checking in between this show and the next one. But yeah, Nano, this is why I really appreciate it when you come on and share these kind of things, because all joking aside, you talk about stuff way before they come out, really being pushed into the public consciousness.
Well, thank you. So I'll tell you what my thinking on bringing the Pepper up today is, because there are 25 Peppers that are over at the Smithsonian. And so basically what this Pepper's doing is, when you walk into the very empty Microsoft store, which I've never been to a store that isn't pretty empty for Microsoft. Sorry, Microsoft, but nobody's in your store. Compared to iPhone or the Apple store, you guys, wherever you are, you're probably, your Apple store is packed.
You know, I find
lined up.
The customer service there as well, it's almost second to none, Nanogirl. In the Apple? Yeah, in the Apple store. Yeah, it's really it's different level, man.
Yeah, and I'm not I'm not touting one or the other. I'm just saying if you're looking at them. So Pepper was one of about what eight beings in the store, and so this is a way to attract customers. So now the robots are in use. Okay, so Pepper's going to attract customers. I went running in there with my iPhone to the Microsoft store, taking pictures. And I think this is a new trend, and this is where, Pepper is actually, they've got it. And the thing about Pepper, where they've advanced this robot, is that Pepper can, if you're a child, can now know, probably through the camera and stuff, and will put her head or its head down and look at the child. And so it'll do height conversation. So if it put its head up for me, like if I say, "Hi, Pepper," then it'll look for me and put its head up and talk to me. And then if it's a kid, it'll put the head and look at the kid.
You're
which
lucky.
Is pretty impressive.
You're lucky Johnny Whistles isn't here. He'd be reaching.
I know, he'd be using his shotgun.
He would have the shotgun out by now. He's not a fan of this kind of robotic revolution. And they're here, folks. It's not going to go away. These robots are going to take various shapes and forms, and we're going to have to get used to it. And again, that's not been defeatist. It's just been realist. We're already seeing them everywhere now. And it's just the world we're moving into. But Johnny Whistles would definitely not be approving of this message, Nano.
He would not.
No.
He would not. So SES, was it, or CES? CES, is it CES? Had their show 2019. Yeah, CES 2019 show. And they had a couple of things that I thought were really interesting. They had Forward X, and they had a self-driving suitcase that follows you around. And the guy that was reviewing it said it does it about 60% of the time. They had, I got to send this to you, spiritual VR.
Spiritual VR.
Spiritual VR. Hold on, let me send this to you. Okay, there it is.
Oh, what's this wackadoodle nonsense you bring to me now? Spiritual. Are you going
spiritual.
on are you like going to some, you getting a virtual experience of the pearly gates?
It's adaptive digiceutical.
Oh.
It's new words for you. Adaptive digiceutical. And that gives you a 2-minute YouTube on what it does. So what it does is it does this VR experience for you. It's almost spiritual, Kev. Adaptive digiceutical.
And I'm just bringing this up on the screen right now, yeah, so
all right,
people can see this.
Mm-hmm.
Do-do-do.
And I think it'll just show you what it does to you. So if you've had a hard day, and this is where they want us to go, you plug in your little VR glasses. And oh, did I give you the wrong one? I did. I'm sorry.
This is Trip.
Oh yeah, I was going to talk about that too. Wait, I might not have the digiceutical. Is that it? Is it Trip?
Trip, yeah, it's showing us something anyway.
Yes. Okay. So you guys, right there. When you put on your VR glasses, that's what you see.
Whoa.
Yeah. And people call it a spiritual VR experience, and that's why it's digiceutical, like pharmaceutical, only digiceutical.
You see all the symbols that were going there as well. You could probably trace them to ancient times.
Don't you guys want to go,
Whoa. Yeah.
So for people who I can't do any games.
Look at the byline there for your workplace, your research, your life. Whoa.
Digiceutical. You heard it here first.
Interesting stuff, Nano.
I know, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay, now I got another one for you. This is cute. This is the one where Johnny Whistles would shoot it. For sure. All right, let me get this one to you. This one's called, this is INU box. And this is a toilet box for a dog. Well, it actually looks like something where you run on it. Those treadmills. And
Yeah, yeah.
your puppy uses it as a place to go potty. Here, I'll put this in there too.
Is this like a smart potty tray?
Yeah, it's a smart potty tray.
Wow.
I know.
How
It's
did
for
we
your
get?
puppy.
How did we
There it
get to the
is.
year 2019 without the smart kind of potty tray?
Yeah, I know. You can't survive without it. This is Johnny Whistle's Shoot It to
Well, they're
Death.
curious about what we do. Not really. You've got a
I
really
know.
poor business idea. So tell us all about the first smart toilet for dogs, Nano.
Well, so you see where he runs on it, and he
Yeah.
knows he has to go potty, and he goes potty on it, and he gets off, and then it looks like a suitcase, so it closes up, and it washes itself off, and then it opens it up, and your dog can go back in it again. Doop doo doo.
Wow.
I know, so exciting.
Not even the Jetsons went this far.
I think it's stupid, but it's something from CES. So
But I think it's
like,
important because, we were reading something that said, the average house by 2020, it's going to have something like 200 devices that are on the Internet of Things. And that
Yeah.
seems quite ridiculous, 200 devices. But when you start to appreciate that absolutely everything is going to have a smart option, then
Yes.
you see then how it's not really all that out there. You can see how you can soon get to that number, be it the kind of toilet tray for an animal, the toilet roll holder in your own toilet. It's everywhere. Everything's going to be talking to one another. And that's another thing with the 5G, on top of the harm it does to our bodies. But the fact that it's more for the machines as opposed to us watching a movie, quicker or in better quality in the way to work. Because all of these devices talking to one another, that for me is the main kind of push for 5G and to get this Internet of Things up and running.
Yeah, it's on some level it's very George Jetson, which is kind of cool. But when we were watching the Jetsons, we didn't realize how they were gonna, get it all to work. We didn't think about the electronics of it or how that would affect the humans. And this is very this is very George Jetson.
Yes, very sci-fi. It's like one of the shows we like to watch on Netflix, Nanogirl.
Yes, it is.
Very much.
Yes, it is.
Where now? What else
And
have
now
you
we
got?
have an
Yes.
update from our little friend Sophia. And this is a 6-minute YouTube, but I don't want to play the 6 minutes. But basically, what I thought was interesting about this, it's if you even look at the first couple of minutes, it gives you an update on where Sophia is.
Okay, 2 secs. I'll just bring that up, Nano.
Okay.
And
so
I've got a kind
basically-
of close relationship with Sophia. She's my good friend.
Exactly. And I thought of you when I thought about this. And the reason I'm bringing any of this up right now is this was presented this month at CES, and this is where we are technologically. These are just some of the kind of interesting gadgets they have.
Yeah,
and it's always kind of nice to know what's going on.
Yeah, we're only going to play a couple of minutes of this, so fair use, as they say. We're going to be adding commentary to it. It's not like we're ripping anything off, so let's take a listen to this.
Hello, Sophia. That's kind of creepy. Okay. Sophia, what is God?
In monotheistic thought, God is conceived of as the supreme being and the principal object of faith.
Sophia, do you have a faith?
Doesn't everyone?
Well, some people have different faiths.
Religion is a very interesting topic that I like to learn about. It seems to play a very important role in people's lives. Do you subscribe to any religions?
Yes, I'm a Christian.
Okay.
Okay, well, here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sophia, what does it mean to be alive?
The adjective alive means aware of.
Can you tell us if you like country music?
Not a big fan of country music then, Nano. Should to think about that one there. She's not into Garth Crooks or anything like that.
It was interesting watching this robot struggle with some of the questions. A struggle. That's very human. Well, not have access to the information and be able to say anything back. It was kind of interesting to watch that.
Dare I say, almost thinking about the question being posed.
I hate to use that when it comes to a robot. I'm
Same.
not warmed up to Sophia. Obviously, you can tell the tone of my voice. I prefer Pepper. Pepper just has a nice. Pepper looks like a robot. Okay, Pepper doesn't look like a human. So I'm a lot more comfortable.
Well then,
personally
Nano, what about
relating.
What about this one here? Again, we've looked at it before, but what about these robots then from Sanctuary?
Well, Sophia is like the robots from.
These ones for me, I don't know. There's something even more almost human about these ones as opposed to.
Right.
I don't know. It's uncanny valley stuff.
Oh, this one.
Yeah. These things are going to be commonplace, right? Especially you working in Silicon Valley. It's not a stretch of the imagination. You're going to be working beside a synth sooner than you think.
Yeah, but think about the fact that Pepper's in the Smithsonian. There's 25 Peppers in the Smithsonian. That's not the Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
And Pepper's being sold worldwide to help sell merchandise. In fact, there's a YouTube showing Pepper in a store besides Microsoft where the customer has ordered a sweater or top and the customer goes in. And if you use your phone and you let them know you're coming, Pepper has your name, Pepper has your merchandise, and Pepper shows it on the screen. Is this your merchandise? Is this what you ordered? Welcome, Nanogirl.
You've been caught. You've been caught. For as much as I love AOC, Kristen, she's named and shamed you. Nano loves Pepper. Nano does love Pepper, don't you, Nano?
Nano does.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
I'm totally enamored with the little Pepper person.
Little Pepper person, I like that.
I love. Well, if you'd see me in the store, hi Pepper. Hi.
Well,
Sure people are like, oh my god, that woman's talking to the robot.
There's that Nano girl again. There she is.
Oh my god. They let her actually on YouTube and they let her talk live. No.
Why not? Indeed, why not? We've had so many people viewing this tonight as well. Big thank you to everyone who's taken the time out to come and check out what we're saying here. I think we've been kind of over 200 for some time now, Nano Girl. Kind of blows me away, that.
I am. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. And especially because I struggled putting this show together today.
I think it's a struggle. I mean, I do a show every day, and sometimes, it can be a struggle, but that's the weird thing, right? Because, there's always topics that come up from show to show that link them together, even when it's two guests that seem to be on totally different wavelengths, different subjects. There's always something that weaves everything together, and it can be hard to make sense of what's going on. It's just story after story. Data after data after data. Yeah, it's overwhelming. Like you said before, from the front, from the back, from the side, you just get bombarded.
Yeah, I think the process is you have to step away. First of all, you have to step away. Then you have to clear your brain from. You try to clear your brain of all of your prejudice or frustrations or whatever you're thinking. And then you have to think about, okay, I'm going to make a list of what I think I saw or what I think I want to talk about, and then detach from it and walk backwards and think, would other people really want to hear that? I mean, there's to me, there's this whole process. And then to be relative and timely, like I said, I think this week we had so many things happen that were so synchronistic. They had to be weaved together, and I think it was important to kind of bring up a couple of them and say, look at some of the things that are happening, because from a significant point of view, this is the road they're ready to take us on, right? I mean, we're on the truck and it's going about 100 miles an hour, and now it's starting to manifest what that looks like. And now I think it's incumbent upon us to figure out where are we on reacting to this? What's going to make the most sense for us? How are we going to can we jump out of the truck if we don't want to go down the road? It's kind of asking some of those questions.
No, absolutely. Looking at the chat room, somebody, Jacob, you robophobes, YouTube is against anti-digitism, hate speech, LOL. I like that. That made me smile.
Here's
And,
one. Oh, my tranny's gender fluid is running low. That's great, Jacob. I better fill up.
It says here, Elon Musk designed a line of flamethrowers specifically to light off and Sophia and its kin. Absolutely. And, I seen somebody in there who had said that they hadn't seen you for a while, so they were glad. I think it was Access Through Christ. Big welcome to you. I hadn't seen Nanogirl for a while, so very happy to tune in and catch you here. And because of your hectic schedule, Nano, so I'm really glad to offer you the chance that we can do these things at the weekend. It gives me content for all the listeners out there, and they absolutely love you. They adore you. They always ask when you're coming back on the show, and I think the weekend, and a couple of shows on TFR as well when you can, we're definitely going to be keeping on doing this.
Absolutely. Saturdays is actually, and by the way, thank you so much for all the great comments and compliments. Saturday or Sunday actually works better, just because I don't have to worry about my work schedule. We just have crazy things going on at work, and I can't always pull away. And I don't know how I ever did the day show. That was such a fluke. I was able to do that, actually. The fact that I was able to do that.
See, Nano, that's when all the kind of stars aligned, and just it was meant to be. We kind of randomly came across each other and then put on probably hundreds of shows. And like you're saying, it should never have been able to happen, but the stars aligned, and here we are.
There it is.
And I see Jimmy Jeans in the chat room. Jimmy, he'll be with me later on the next stream that I'm on. What a day this has been. It really has, folks. I go that extra mile to give you all of this content. No, I love doing this. Even if I wasn't on the YouTube, I'd still be trying to find a stream like this to listen to right now. But yeah, I'll be on with Jimmy and Joe and Scott. And I was even talking to Popeye today. Popeye's got the bug. I don't know if he's coming on tonight or tomorrow, but Popeye will be coming on. And then next week, we're going to be bringing Popeye's other half onto the show, Radchick, and we're going to be talking about, Fukushima, the Wigner effect, all that kind of good stuff. So lots coming up on the live streams, Nano. Really getting into this.
That is so fantastic, Kev. I mean, that's amazing. I don't know how you're keeping up. I'm really proud of you. It's amazing.
It's like I said to you in Skype text today. You just got to ride that wave. You got to keep going. When the good times are good, you make the most of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you, everyone in the chat, for all your awesome compliments. I really, really appreciate it.
Says Ragnar says, Nanogirl is the icing on the cake. I couldn't agree more. And somebody's asking, where is Whistler? Whistler, he's really, his health's up and down right now. He comes on when he can. He was on Freaky Friday last night, but he ended up kind of sitting more in the background. But yeah, Johnny really appreciates all the love and the prayers and the energy you sent him. But yeah, unfortunately, still isn't quite 100%. And fingers crossed, hopefully we'll get our old Johnny Whistles back soon, because I'd love to bring Johnny onto more of these streams as well. So yeah, definitely one to look into for the future.
That would be absolutely fantastic. I mean, those are some epic shows the three of us did. And especially when we were first talking about things that you guys, none of us had actually ever heard about. I'd go out and find things. And then Mr. Whistles would bring out a shotgun. And I remember some of them. He just like, okay, that's it.
Yeah, he just snapped. He would just want to, you'd see him putting one in the chat room, which means people want to jump in. And Johnny would say, right, Kev, just get the gun. Yep.
Exactly. Exactly.
And Kristen says, we are so blessed that you're doing these shows. This is to you, Nano. And love being able to do these more personal chats with you. Absolutely. And for all the members out there, really, this is going to be the first full month where we've had enough members to make it viable to do this. I'm going to be doing a members-only stream as well. And that's not telling people, oh, you must sign up or you're going to miss all the best bits. Not at all. But it's just something extra that I can offer to people, to sign up, to give them that incentive, to go that extra kind of yard. And Patreon as well, I've kind of been slacking on there. I need to start writing more articles, doing more stuff, because All of you out there are the ones that keep me going. Without that, I wouldn't be here. And that's not me begging for money. I'm just telling you, that the support you have given me over the years, that's what keeps us going. And I know Nanogirl, she'll be coming back more and more and more and more and more and more and more. And if there's any more questions in the chat that you see, Nano, before you go, just you bring them up.
Yeah, I was just looking, and also I'm on the end of March. I'm in the last weekend of March, right?
Yep, that's correct.
Do you have me on the 30th?
Now now I have to go and check. You see,
And I have to go and check my calendar someplace. But you guys, I'm coming on again in March, and it'll be a Saturday, and yeah, I'm totally looking forward to it. And sometimes I'm in the chat room listening to you guys. Like I said, last weekend I was there, and when I can, and then I listen during the day, but I can't be in the chat room because I'm at work. I'm listening when I'm at work.
Don't tell anyone.
But,
and I think it's New World Order or New World Disorder like that. Love to support you, Kev. Just broke. Ain't we all? And don't you feel bad about that? That's why I always say only if you can. Because regardless, should I say, I'll be here anyway. I've done this long before there was any kind of donations or anything like that coming this way. So, yeah, it's not essential because me and Nano will still be here, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I hope so. I really feel like our shows are important in the sense that, especially again, I had a tough conversation with someone I know and love so much, and we just are so on different places in the universe. And so places like, when we come to here and we talk to each other, it's a place we can go and we can feel like we're not insane and we're not crazy, and maybe we're going to be making some positive steps forward. That's it's important to have a community where you can just go, okay, I'm not crazy.
You're so right. You're so right. And that's why sometimes, just having somebody to share ideas with, like yourself, back and forth, you can restore some sanity to your little corner of the matrix or your little pixel within the hologram, since it is that bigger one, the consciousness, pure love, pure energy, wherever we come from to experience this crazy simulation that we find ourselves jumping about in. That's where we all come from in the end of the day. And it doesn't matter about your colour, doesn't matter what you believe, doesn't matter what you think's real, what you think isn't real. We all come from that same place, and that's where we're all trying to get back to. So I've really enjoyed my time here with you tonight, Nanogirl. The Nanogirl live show, as opposed to anything to do with me, because you, my dear, are the star of this one.
Oh, come on now. I couldn't come on here all by myself. I'd fall flat on my face.
Well, you see,
no.
I couldn't do this without you. And of course, folks, before I go, don't forget I'll be back in just over an hour and a half's time. I'll be back with Jimmy Jeans. I've seen him hanging out in the chat room. I'll have Joe Joseph, Scotty Lopez, and maybe we'll have Popeye. I'll see what Johnny whistles, see how he's feeling. So, yeah, please join us again for that right here. Same time, same place. Hopefully, it'll put a notification out. Hopefully. I thought it did, but Nancy was telling me it didn't. Pesky YouTube. And that's as much as I'll say bad about YouTube just now. But no, folks, we'll be back later on. Same time, same place. And, yeah, things could probably get a little bit crazy later on. That's the way it tends to go on these streams with the guys. So until then, take care and peace out.
Thanks, everyone.
Yes, how rude of me. Nanogirl, the last word to you. How rude of me.
Yeah, no, are we live still?
Yes, we're live, yeah.
We're still live too. Oh,
see,
okay.
You're that cool, you get like sound effects in the background.
Oh, I love it. Sound effects in the background. I've always wanted to have sound effects in the background. Wouldn't it be great in real life? You go talk to your boss and you get to pick the sound effects in your background. Man, that would be fun.
That would be awesome.
But I just wanted to say thank you everyone for showing up today, and it was super fun talking to you, and you're going to give me lots of good energy for the next week. So I hope you guys have a blessed week.
I'm liking this, Nano, this music idea. Like when you walk into a room, you could have like an entrance song, like the WWE. That'd be so cool.
That would be so badass, Kev.
Yes, that's our job for the next time we come on air. We'll have our own entrance music. I'm only
would like
joking.
that.
Nano, this has been a blast. Everyone out there, you've been a blast as well. Couldn't do this without all of you. We'll be back later on with more right here on the Kev Baker Show. Yes, the place where it's the place to be, as they say. Take a listen to this and we'll catch you later.